Hello, everyone. How are you all this evening? Well, this is Maxine Pearl coming your way, talking to you about life strategies. I am the host of the Life Strategies Show, the CEO of Level Less. What is Level Less? Level Less is all about knowing your worth, being able to advocate for yourself, and continue to succeed on your terms, not someone else's, but your terms. So the Levelist movement is all about defining what success is for you. So take a moment right now, reach out to someone, let them know that Levelist is live in color, and we're talking about what's happening with the tuition, what's happening with, Biden trying to see how he's going to be able to help our students in the tuition, the financing, the costs, the loans that they have in place. We're going to talk about that tonight. And then I want to segue into how does Levelist help our students, help the parents in order to reduce the tuition debt. So go ahead, reach out to someone, let them know that we're live and we're talking about Level Less, the movement, removing all levels so that you know your worth, you can advocate for yourself, and you succeed on your own terms. But it's about continuously succeeding. So as we get started tonight, I couldn't help but to read the article that was put out today about the Biden administration will give millions of student loan borrowers in debt a fresh start. And what does this mean for you if you fall into that category? Well, we already know that many times a student debt, when it comes to tuition, when it comes to books, right now, many of the students are at home and they're doing it online. But when the dorms are open and all the students return, then you have the housing expense that you are going to be faced with. How is that going to impact you? Many of you have already gone and you've gotten some phenomenal degrees, your undergrad, your master's, even your PhDs. Now, what I always ask individuals before you go and when you start talking about acquiring another degree or education or certification, how are you going to use it? And this is what we help students do. So at Level Less, we talk about students succeeding. Students succeeding. Students succeeding. And when we talk about that, we talk about how can we help the student to succeed? We partner with parents of teenagers. Yes, we work with adults. Yes, we work with executives. Yes, we work with corporations. But we're focusing on parents of teenagers so that we can help our teenagers understand who they are from their core and map that into a strategy that they can use not only in the workplace to understand the profession, but also to help them continue to move forward in life. As I read this article about Biden administration giving millions of students, loan borrowers in default, a fresh start, I got to thinking about what if, just imagine that many of us, had we had a career coach when we were in middle school, or had we had a career coach when we were in high school. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that there are career counselors, but I'm talking about a career coach, someone that's designated, that's working with your teenager, or that's working with your middle schooler, that is understanding and meeting them where they are right now. That's what Levelist does when we're talking about partnering with the parents. Imagine that if you had a career coach when you were in high school, and instead of you trying to decide, who am I going to become when I'm an adult? What career path am I going to take? You get stuck. You become overwhelmed. If you're like me, my mother went to the 11th grade and my father went to the 3rd grade. So my mother did not have that inside knowledge in order to be able to help me to decide or to even navigate going to college. So consequently, I did not go to college until I was 33. But that does not have to happen. We did not know anything about a career coach. But that's why I've gone into the business that I'm in. It's because I did not have that when I was in high school. And this provides an opportunity to help parents who become overwhelmed or who are stuck or who are unsure. How do you help your teenager move forward in their career? And how do you help them decide on what profession that they should even go into or become? You know, we always hear that question, what are you going to do when you become an adult? Well, those days pass by very fast. And because of that, is even more reason why we take the time and we hone in on our middle schoolers and our high schoolers in order to help them navigate and to strategize what career path they are going to take. That way, it helps them to reduce that student debt. It helps them to not have to take out all those extra loans or stay in school an extra amount of time. They can get in and out. Once you understand who you are from your core and you understand your innate abilities, we can call them God-given abilities, innate abilities, natural abilities, but what they actually are the abilities that you were born with, that no one had to teach them to you. So go ahead, reach out, let your family, your friends, and parents or guardians of teenagers know that the Leveless Woman, Maxine Pearl, is talking about how do we help our teenagers move forward and create that profession to get that job or the assignment and continue to bring their dreams to a reality. That's right, a reality. Come on, parents, you already know that when you were a teenager, some of the things that you dreamt about, that you saw yourself doing and becoming, making an impact on the world, a high risk taker. But what happened once we become an adult? Life gets in the way. Other things take priorities. But I guarantee you that many times that you have taken a step back and you have thought about some of those dreams that you had as a child when you would play and had your own time to yourself. Oh, don't forget about them. Don't give up on your dreams because we have not given up on you. You can still make them become a reality. But Leveless is concentrating and focusing on our middle school and our high schoolers. We talk about teenagers, 14 or 13 to 19. 13 to 19 is who we're focusing on. We want them to understand who they are from their core. I guarantee you that once that happens, that teenager can then start making some informed decisions on the career path that they see themselves going, the aspirations that they have for themselves, the dreams that they're dreaming about. So with Leveless and with this imagining having that career coach that can work with you and work with your student. So there's no reason for you to be stuck, overwhelmed as your student or your teenager trying to decide what career path they are going to take. What if you had a career coach that could also help your students to identify, discover, or confirm not only their innate abilities, but what about their preferred communication style? Their communication style. Do you understand how huge and how big and how robust that is to understand your communication style? because this helps a student to understand how do they take in new information and process it. So as a part of our programming that we offer and the services that we offer, we help the students to identify their preferred communication style. And then from there, they get a chance to understand and work situations where can they take notes based on that? How do they study based on that? And we even have an opportunity to help them with test taking. I'm talking about the basic test taking. I'm not talking about SATs or ACTs, but I'm talking about just the standard test taking that you do every day in school. That's a part of the program. Now, we're going to be having this coming up this summer as a summer camp. That's right, a summer camp. We're going to be offering it to the parents of these teenagers so that you can start enrolling them this summer. And then we follow them when school starts. You know, my kids used to say, Mom, listen, we're out for the summer. We should not have to read books. We should not have tests. We should not be learning spelling words and looking in the dictionary, giving you definitions. See, I was doing homeschool without even realizing I was doing homeschool when my children were in the middle school and high school during the summertime. Because I always made sure that they were being prepared for the next school year, the level that they were going into. They already knew some of the vocabulary words, some of the math. They had to read books and write book reports. I'm not saying that you as a parent need to do that, but I'm just saying that's what my intuition told me to do with my children. And for that reason, I understand that this God has created and has given me the ability to add some of this phenomenal tools and techniques into the everyday services that I offer through Level Less. And we talk about Level Less students succeeding, because when you're a Level Less student, you are going to continue to succeed on your terms because you create a strategy for yourself. And when parents, let's face it, educators, leaders, you already know. Statistics has shown us, the research has shown us that when individuals are a part of the decision making, a part of the process, creating the roadmap, creating the strategy, they are more likely to execute and take action because there is a buy-in automatically. They feel a sense of belonging. And that's what our youth want to understand. That's what our teenagers want to feel like, that they belong, that they are a part of the decision making. This helps our students to start making those decisions and preparing them as they enter into adulthood. Because if we make all the decisions for them, when they're out on their own, they don't have the experience. Some of us are experiential learners. It's prior experience, then we know how to apply it. Some of us are risk takers. We're devils, and we'll just go out and try it. But then there are others are reserved. And for that reason, they have to go through the scenarios. And so here at Level Less, we give them a safe place, a safe environment to create and to role play, to go through scenarios so they know, they have a sense of feeling. How are they going to react? You know, another objective that we have here is to increase the graduation rate. Because if a child understands who they are and their capabilities, they see themselves thriving, not surviving. They have that confidence level that increases. They feel proud, their character, their integrity. You know, all of that's a part of becoming an adult. But it all starts while we are young. We have an opportunity to prove what we can do and have individuals to take notice in us. Well, what if you could feel that sense of confidence when you're communicating your strengths to individuals as you're talking to them? You're letting them know when someone asks, well, tell me something about yourself. And you're able to tell them more than the school that you attend, which is nothing wrong with that, or the fact that you play sports. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if you can tell them about the way you make decisions, how you solve problems, how your preferred communication style? What if you're able to articulate that while you're middle school and high school? That helps you with the presentation when you're presenting who you are. And remember, you are the brand, and the brand is you. So the teenagers have an opportunity to understand their brand, and they have an opportunity to start creating that powerful and being proud of the brand that they're walking in confidence and in self-esteem because they understand who they are from their core. Oh, yes, we have an assessment that helps us to do that. And it's called an ability assessment. We're going to be running across the screen in a moment when we talk about theLevelisCode.com. You can always go there, send me your contact information, and let me know if there is, you would like to set up a consultation, a strategy session to talk about your teenager, and invite the teenager to be a part of it. I know I had a lady on last Monday, and she was talking about Vanessa, and she was sharing with me her business where her son came into the interview. He's about 5 or 6. But you know what? It's life. We're at home and we're doing things at home. So what we must do is incorporate the children, not exclude them, but include them. And so he became our model, modeling the merchandise, the apparel. And so he became a part of the show, opposed to us saying, sit down, put him in the corner, don't move. It wasn't one of those. We must help our children to understand that they have a presence, they have a voice, and we must help them to understand how to use it, when to use it, the way in which to use it, so that when they take a seat at the table, their voice can be heard. So that's another way that we help when it comes to the life coaching, career coaching, and our program is called College and Career Preparation Program for our teenagers. So if you're out there and you are a parent of a teenager, connect with me. Let me hear from you. Let me hear what your concerns are. And then I'll have an opportunity to share with you the services that we're going to be offering during our camp this summer. We have an 8-week camp that's going to take place this summer. And they will not be there every day. It will be done online. So they have an opportunity to do it in the comforts of their home. But it's nothing like having that interaction. It's nothing like having that teenager heard. I know if your teenager was like my teenagers, I had 2. They're much older now. They're in their 40s now. But did they always want to listen to the parent? Of course not. Of course not. Will they listen to your friend? If you were the friend come over, they said identical the same thing that you said. Come on now. How many of you have done that? You told your teenager something and they just right over the head. But your friend comes over and you all having a conversation and you just happen to say the same thing. You're talking about it and they say the same thing. And then your teenager overhears it and it's like, Mom, I heard what she said, so and so, so and so, so and so. I'm like, well, yes, that's what I've been telling you for the last, 3 years. It happens all the time. But we're talking to our teenagers back and forth. It's not that they don't hear us. It's just they don't act on what we have suggested to them. So we think they're not listening, but they actually are listening. Because later in life, you'll start seeing them take action on it. They might not take action right then and there. And there could be a couple of reasons for that. It could be they're the type of child that has to take a step back and think about what it is that you said, digest it, understand how they can internalize and use it. And then they apply it in certain situations when you're not even around. You did not even know that they did it. You did not even know that they were paying attention to you. Or they could be the type of child who says, I'm a risk taker. I know what Mom said, but that's not what I want to do right now. And then they go ahead and do what they want to do. And then once they make that mistake, guess what? I know we have to be right there to pick them up, encourage them, help them move along so that they don't get stuck. So parents, the reason why I'm talking about this tonight is because we're getting ready to enter into the summer. The school year is almost over. Here it is, April. Graduations will start taking place. We have proms going on right now. Oh, I love that time of the year. I used to make my daughter's prom dresses and her friends' prom dresses. I loved it. But as they enter into the summer, they're going to need something to do. Why not prepare them for the upcoming school year? Why not prepare them for what's going to happen beyond school? That's where Levelist partners with parents. That's where we partner with you to empower your teenager so that they can become levelless. And that means that there are no levels. They do not have to aspire to a certain level. We remove the notion for having a level. Instead, you understand your worth. Then you can advocate for yourself and you continue to succeed on your terms because we help the child to define what success looks like for them. Success is different for every single one of us. And it's the same way when it comes to our teenagers. Let's meet the teenagers where they are. Let's meet them where they are. Let's let those teenagers know that we are listening, that we are observant, that we are supporters, that we are encouragers. And yes, we are still their parent, or you are still their guardian. But the teenagers need our undivided attention at certain points during those teenage years. And parents, let's face it, we can get busy with our own careers. We are being promoted. We have a heavy workload. We might have even gone into a transition ourselves with the way the workplace is right now. Everyone is getting ready to start going back into the workplace. So we have that added that's going on right now. And what happens, don't find yourself overwhelmed. You don't have to do it by alone. You have the Levelist woman out here and our team that's waiting to help you, to service you, and to service that teenager. Because we help put those teenagers into the pipeline. Because there's so many different directions that they can take. They can go work for someone. And if they're going to work for someone else other than themselves, or if you're not in the business and they're not working in your business and they're working for another organization, how do they know what's the best fit for them? That's what we do. That's a part of the service that we offer when it comes to the college and career program. That's why it is a summer camp, because we want to take them through it so that they can understand and apply it. And then if they're not working for someone, they might decide that their God-given abilities or their innate abilities is something that they can do on their own. They can become an entrepreneur. We have a workshop for that we can help them get started in their own business. So see, parents, when you come to Levelist, it's a one-stop shop, but it's not a one-size-fits-all, because we customize our programs to the individual. Now, there are some workshops that they will attend as a class, but there are many parts of the services that are individualized and personalized, because only you can be you. And that's the same thing with your teenager. They need many times that our undivided attention. And at Levelist, we're here to be able to give that to them. So that talks about strengthening the communication piece, But what about the learning strategies? It's nothing like having real world examples. It's nothing like putting them in the hot seat. It's nothing like hearing them give their natural reaction to a scenario. It's nothing like hearing the laughter in their voices when they feel like, man, I just made a mistake. But see, with us, they're in a safe place. They're in a safe place. I don't think there's one of us that can raise our hand to say we have never made a mistake, that we have never done something from a negative perspective. But see, here at Level S, we talk about intentional, being intentional. So the students have an opportunity to understand how they can be intentional. So this summer camp is very in-depth. You know, it helps pull back the layers for these students so they get to understand who they are from their core. And it's nothing like understanding who you are from your core. I say from your core all the time because I want individuals to understand that it is a part of your DNA. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of what you were born with and who you were born to become. So see, we use the phrase be levelless. Remove those levels. Understand your natural abilities. Create that strategy. Put that blueprint in place. Walk down that roadmap that you just created. Do the execution and the action items. Make that to-do list. Put it on your calendar. What is it going to take in order for you to execute it and to complete it? We help you to do that. Parents, we're here to partner with you. So if you know parents of teenagers, have them to make sure that they communicate and become a part of the Levelist Co. You can send it to Maxine at levelistco.com. That's Maxine at levellessco.com. Maxine at levelistco.com. Communicate with me. Let me know who you are and let me know a little bit about your teenager. Let's talk. Our camp is going to be an open registration. It's going to be open the 1st of May. We're only taking 20 in each section, in each session, because we want to make sure that we give that individualized attention. I guarantee that you're going to be satisfied and your teenager will too. And it's only going to be once a week. And we'll talk about the days and the times and all that great stuff. But the most important thing now is for us to take a look at how can we reduce the tuition cost. And one way of reducing that tuition cost is to ensure that the teenager or those who are getting ready to go into college have identified what they're naturally gifted at doing and put a strategy in place so that they are going into the profession that complements their abilities. That complements their abilities. It's so critical. That's where passion and purpose meets. That's where the light bulb goes on. That's where they're happy. That's where they're talking to you nonstop about what it is that they're doing. Everyone is not going to go to college. Everyone is not going to go to college. But what about those who don't go to college? We're here to help them as well because there's a trade. And if they're not going to go into a trade, then they very well could become a business owner. But even becoming a business owner, you need to understand what direction you're going to take, even becoming a business owner. What's that profession that you want to become a part of? What's the problem that you're trying to solve? And who's that target market? Who's your avatar? And understanding who you are and your passion and purpose will help you to understand what direction that child is going to take when they are creating their career strategy. We need a career strategy. It becomes a part of life because career is a lifetime. Even after we worked for 30, 40, maybe 50 years and we're getting ready to retire, then what are you going to do even after retirement? Because if it's a natural ability for you, you don't lose it. You continue to use it. It's just a part of who you are. It's a part of your DNA. It does not go away. I'm trying to see if I have any comments out here. Do I have anybody watching? Who's out here looking? All right. I see y'all talking to me. That's very, very good. Listen, I just lost my telephone. I'm trying to make sure I get to the time, right? Okay, well, there you go. Keeping up with the time. So as we continue to talk about the strategies help you to improve your work relationship, the networking, being intentional, and it also helps you to improve your personal life as well. Because believe it or not, many things that you do in life personally carries over into it professionally. And the things that you learn professionally, you bring them back home and use them personally. So when the students work with us, the teenagers that work with us, they bring the information back home and they share it with you, the parent, or they share with their siblings. And so we always say we're transforming generations and we're leaving legacies. So we have an opportunity to do that. It is phenomenal just being able to work with these teenagers and see the light bulbs go on and see them understanding that all the things that they find out about themselves, like, Miss Maxine, you're so right. This truth, I mean, it never fails that once a student take our ability assessment. I was given feedback about 3 weeks ago to a young man. I think he's a junior in high school. And I was giving him feedback and I was sharing with him from his assessment how his leadership skills were so pronounced. I mean, all of the different profile pieces and the pattern that was showing me that he was just a natural born leader. And of course, he wasn't for sure how to accept that. He goes to school the next day. They vote him to be the president of his class. He was just ecstatic, elated. The mother calls me and giving me the great news. And you know what it did for me. I mean, I'm just happy, smiling from ear to ear because it's so good when you have a student to do the assessment and you're giving them feedback and you're showing them how what you're talking about, how it relates to what the questionnaire that they completed. And then you go to school the next day and it's proven. So see, the things that we do here, proven results. Absolutely proven results. We have students who do testimonials. I mean, just to show you some of the things that they do. I don't know if we have that testimonial ready to show, but if not, we'll show it toward the end of the show tonight. Parents, what I want to bring to your attention is that you already know this, that every course of study, every occupation, whether it's science, whether it's technology, whether it's engineering, law, management, mechanics, refrigeration, it does not matter. We use innate abilities, hands-on, visual, auditory, numbers. All of this is a part of our innate abilities. You know, not only do they discover their innate abilities, those who have not yet discovered them, many of them identify them, and some of them confirm their innate abilities. They have a general idea of something that they love to do, but they need that confirmation, that solid confirmation. And it's not like you go down one career path you can't change, because we know we can. But if I ask you a question, parents, how many of you are actually working in the profession in which you acquired your degree? Show of hands. I'll put it in the chat box. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I wish I was. I'm transitioning into it. Let me know. Yes, yes, okay. All right. So the other thing is, how many of you in middle school or high school had someone that partnered with you to help you to understand what course electives are you going to choose while you're in middle school based on the profession you're going to go into after school? How many of you? Show of hands. Put a 1 in the box if it's you. Put a 2 in the box if it's not you. In the chat box. Okay. How many of you, when you chose your college degree program, you chose it based on what you wanted to be when you grew up? Or how many of you chose your degree program based on how much money you thought you were going to make? So put in the chat box, money or when I grew up. And that way I'll know. Yes, come on. Come on, put it in there. Let me see it. Okay. And then, how many of you, parents, when you were a teenager, how many of you looked at the work environment in which you saw yourself working in based on your chosen degree plan? Did you look at organizations before you went into the degree program? It was after the fact that you decided, oh, I think I want to work for this particular organization. If you're like I am, it wasn't until after the fact. And from some of the parents that I've spoken with, it has been after the fact. Well, with Levelist, we work with them that do the resumes, interviewing, presentations, and all of that so that they're ready to start looking at organizations that they see themselves working within. Because you know what, parent? It's so critical that the culture and the work environment is conducive and ready to accept those innate abilities that you're bringing to the table, that you are being hired in roles and responsibilities. And many times those environments are not open enough to accept those innate abilities that you have. So sometimes it forces you to have to sit on your hands and not allow you to truly, truly use them. And that's not what you want. So the student get a chance to understand their innate abilities and to understand the work environment that's best for those abilities. So what I want to do right now is take a break, pause for a moment. We're going to bring you a little infomercial, and I'll be right back. We're cutting to break. I am Maxine Phillips, Chief Learning Officer of LevelLess, a learning-based coaching company that partners with parents to empower teens to create a strategy for succeeding in life. Are you overwhelmed or feel stuck when your teen is undecided about selecting a career path? Our college and career program provides assessments, individualized coaching, and workshops to help teens identify their unique purpose and select a profession that complements their strengths. Call us. Well, see, you don't even have to worry about calling us. Just go on and just text us. Email us at that info@levelistco.com or Maxine@levelistco.com, and we are ready to respond to you. I'm looking to see if we have any questions out here from our audience. I'm looking to see if we have any questions from the audience. Not yet, but thank you for chiming in. I appreciate it. Yeah. And also, I want to let you know is that I am interested, parents, in you submitting names for teenagers or for a youth to come on the program, the Life Strategy Show, and to share with me some of the things that they're doing. They don't necessarily have to be in business. They could be in the community doing community work. Someone who's doing phenomenal in school. Someone who's made improvements in school. Or someone who's have an idea that they like to share, or a book that they've written, or a song that they have written. Let's start showcasing our teenagers. Let's start showcasing these wonderful individuals and all the gifts that they have been given. Let's start showcasing them. Again, as I was reading about Biden's administration and forgiving the millions of student loans, I could not help but to think about how Levelers helps reduce the debt, because we are the ones that help students to understand the career direction that they are to go. And by helping them to understand that, they map that into, what classes should they be taking? What degree plans should they be going into? What trades should they be looking at? And even if we start looking at trades, and many times we talk about engineers, well, there's so many different facets to engineering, mechanical, electrical, and so you have the electronics and you have the mechanical piece, and then you have all these different types of engineering because, robotic, you've got all of these things that, the kids are coming up with. They have their own creations and they can find cures for different things. You have students who are just so innovative and creative, and they need the way of channeling all of that creativity. They cannot be bottled. They cannot be put in a box. They cannot be put in front of a screen and expect to stay there and sit there day in and day out. They're the type of child who's not antsy, not anxiety, but they have rhythm learning, which means they must get up and move. They must get up and do. They have hands on. They must touch it, feel it, see what's to it, interact with it. But see, many of us, I know when I was younger, I did not realize this about my own children. I'm so thankful that I've been given this assignment as a part of my business. The Life Strategies, the show is a show. The show comes on and we talk about the strategies that we've taken in steps in life in order to get to where we are. But we were once young. Not only were we infants, but we were young adults. Then we were teenagers, and we had our own mind. No matter what our parents told us, we still had our own mind. And we wanted to do things whose way? Our way. Was it always the right way? Sometime it was, and then sometime it was not. But see, when it was not is where we had to rely on our parents to catch us, to pull us up, to encourage us, to love on us, to nurture us. And that's what the teenagers need from us now. They're not going to tell you that. Why you think when they're 12 and 13, they want to start pulling away from us? Well, up until that age, they're always under you, wanting to be under you, go everywhere you go, doing all the things that you're doing. But once they become a certain age, then they start pushing you away. But all that they're pushing you away, don't allow them to push you away. Take that opportunity that when you're at the dinner table or at lunch or in the park or at a football game with them or at another event, just sitting there talking with them or one-on-ones, to ask them, be curious, ask questions, get into their business, find out what they're thinking, what they see themselves becoming when they become an adult. How do they make decisions? How do they solve problems? When they're in a crisis situation, how do they react to it? Remember what I said earlier. Some individuals must go through that experience first in order to know how to handle it the next time, where others can think of it just like that and they can put out fires without a problem. But not all of us are gifted to be doing that. So we have to understand all of that about our students, our teenagers. So parents, that's why we're here. That's why Levelist is here. That's why we're having this college and career summer camp so that we'll be able to help the teenagers. We'll be able to empower the teenager. We'll be able to partner with you, the parent, in order to empower the teenagers so that they can be in a position to do the things that you want them to do, to become those individuals that they've already been created to become. They get a chance to experience all of this. Now, isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? How many of you had an opportunity to experience that when you were a teenager? It's something to think about. It's an opportunity to put before that teenager. It's an opportunity for you to have that self-development for the teenager. So many times I ask the parents, do you put time in for yourself? Do you go through self-development for you? Do you put me time on the calendar for you? Do you put time on the calendar to even talk and have a conversation with your teenager? Something to think about. Something even to consider. So these are just some of the strategies that we would like to offer when it comes to empowering our teenagers. As I said, Levelers, we're partnering with parents of teenagers to empower the teenagers, to push levels aside. I know we've been taught to climb the ladder. I know we taught to make sure that we've been promoted. I know that we've been taught that society tells us, the sky is the limit. But here at Levelers, we know that the sky is not the limit. At Levelers, we know that there are no levels. We do not have to aspire to any level. What we must do is understand who we are, understand our innate abilities, and understand how to leverage them. And by leveraging them, we understand how to advocate for ourselves. And by advocating for ourselves, that then helps us to understand how do we achieve the strategies that we have put in place. It helps us to define what success is and what it looks like for us. And then it helps us to continue to succeed on our terms. No one else's, but your own terms. So see, parents and guardians, although I have geared this conversation toward teenagers, everything I've said here can apply to an adult. Everything I've said here can apply to an adult. It's critical, it's essential that we too must understand who we are from our core. We too must understand our own innate abilities. We must also understand how we take in new information and process it, how we articulate who we are when someone asks us, so what it is that you do. We must understand, what does that mean and how do we respond? We must understand, how do we present ourselves in an impromptu moment? You see, at Levelers, our students and our teenagers will understand that as well. They would have an opportunity to go through all of those scenarios. We put them in a safe environment so they can experience the real world. They go through the real world experiences. It's nothing like having experienced what it's going to be like when you find yourself in certain situations. That way, we don't know what our kids are going to do when they're no longer in front of us. We don't know what they're going to do when they're in a crisis situation. We don't know how their minds are going to go, but we do know that if we've allowed them an opportunity to experience it, it's more likely that they know how to react when it does not come natural for them. In some instances, it will come natural, but in others, it will not. So I cannot stop talking about the Levelers College and Career Summer Program, the camp that we are presenting We will be announcing the date and registration. So if you're interested in receiving the registration notice, I want you to email me at maxine@levelusco.com. And all you have to do is put in the subject line, notify me of registration for the camp. That's it. Camp registration is all you need. You don't have to give an explanation or anything like that. And we'll email you. We will make sure that you're on the announcement list and you will receive all the pertinent details about the camp. As I indicated, we only have 20 spots open. Then what's important to us is the quality of what we deliver, the excellence in which we deliver it, and to ensure that it's personalized for that student. There will be some workshops that they will attend as a cohort, but for most part, there will be some other areas and sections that they will be individualized attention. And parents, guess what? You're invited to also to become a part of some of that so that you can experience it with your student. And no extra cost for you because you will enroll your student. So we're eager to get started and to start working with the parents. So the parents will be able to start. I can't wait to see the students and to see the careers that they select, the aha moments that they have that they did not even realize that, oh my gracious, this is the reason why I do the things that I do. And it's so freeing. It's so validating. It's so confirming that they don't have to have anyone else to validate them, that who they are is who they are. And that assessment helps it to confirm that this is who you are. And you don't have to be anything other than who you are. They don't have to hide behind anyone. They can blossom. It's like a rosebud that's tight. And as they go through each one of the classes and each one of the sessions, you see them unfold and become that beautiful, beautiful flower. It's like a butterfly. As they go through that metamorphosis, and then they get a chance to become that beautiful butterflies, they start flying. And you start seeing them achieve. And you start seeing them feeling good about themselves, and their confidence levels start rising. Their grades start improving. Their decision making is there. They're having a conversation with you, and you're looking at them like, is this my child? Is this my child talking to me this way? And understanding where they're headed and what it is that they want to do. You see that young adult come out of them, and you get an opportunity to witness all that, to observe all of that. That all the things that you've been instilling in them all these years that you think they have not heard you, but they did. And they get a chance to execute it while they're going through the camp. I'm just so excited about being able to offer this. I'm so excited and can't wait to start talking to the parents and to these teenagers. It's a dream come true for me to be able to offer this type of camp with all the different workshops that go along with it. The assessment. So not only will they go through an ability assessment, they'll go through a feedback session, and then they'll go through the workshops. And the workshops they'll go through some of them with a class. And then the learning styles, they get a chance to understand the learning styles that they have, and we'll talk about them. And the other thing about the learning styles, that not only will they understand their preferred learning style, but if a style is not their preferred, they get a chance to understand how do you enhance that learning style. It's not going to become your preferred learning style because it's not natural, but you will understand how to communicate with others who have that particular learning style that's not yours. And that's so essential when it comes to working in an organization or being an entrepreneur, the CEO or the president of your own company. It's so essential that you know how to communicate, that who you are as a person, how will it influence a team? How will you influence a community? How will you influence the nation? And how will you influence the world? It's a transformation. So that's why we talk about transforming generations and leaving legacies. Because here at Levelers, we definitely leave legacies. When that child and that teenager has an opportunity to go back and share this information with the other siblings or with their parents, we're transforming generations. When they become an adult and they have their own children, we're leaving legacies. When they go out into the community and tell others and what they're doing and share the information, again, legacies. So the journey, our journey is their journey, and their journey is our journey. And the same thing with success. Their success is our success, and we're here for them because it's all about you, is one of the quotes that we use. It's all about you. Our principles is making sure that we're honest. Our integrity is making sure that we're committed, and the fact that we have a standard of excellence in all that we do. So I tell you, as I close tonight and I start thinking about when I was 8 years of age in that Yukon, West Virginia coal miners town, talking to my mother about my dreams of being able to stand in front of millions and share with them the abilities that God has instilled in me. Not only did I listen to the elders when I was a little girl, they used to say that old soul, but it stuck with me. It has followed me. See, their legacies live on through me, and my legacies will live on through others. So as I touch the world, as I touch the nation, and as I touch the community, and as I touch each child in my neighborhood or every child that I come in contact with. You see, I've been doing this for over 45 years, working with youth, being director of youth organizations and faith-based organizations, doing the Heart Association, the Diabetes Association, the March of Dimes, St. Jude. I mean, all that's about youth. It's all about helping our youth move forward. So see, I didn't just get started. I didn't just decide, quote, quote, that I'm going to work with teenagers. That has been a part of my heart, even as an 8-year-old. That has been part of my heart when I would sit down and talk to the elders and listen to them tell me about the stories that they used to do and be when they were 8 years old. I remember all the stories that my mother shared with me when she was a teenager, coming up, becoming an adult. And although she only went to the 11th grade, let me tell you, she could write poetry. She wrote stories. She quilted. She baked. I mean, phenomenal, phenomenal baker. And she mentored over 200 kids in our neighborhood. Over 200 kids in our neighborhood. So see, her legacy lives on. I mentor as well. You know, it's amazing when I sat back and I started thinking about the comparison between her abilities and my abilities, how similar they are. And majority of my siblings and my family, we are service-based, you know, from hospitals to post office to retail, through teaching, service-based. And that's what my mother was. She was a service leader, a servant leader at her heart, at her core. As they say, the fruit does not fall far from the tree that bears it. And we are witness of that. So as I start closing tonight, I thank you for listening. I thank you for being a part of it. And remember to reach out to me and let me know that you want to be on the registration distribution for the College and Career Summer Program, the summer camp for Levelers, for teenagers. So if you know of a parent of teenagers, be sure to pass this information on. We're going to take on 20 at a time in each class. There will be 2 classes this summer. I look forward to having you there, having your teens there, and invite others. Maxine at levellessco.com, and we will be sure to add you to the distribution list. So in the meantime, and in between time, we're getting ready to say goodnight. I'll see you at the same time next week. Have a blessed week. Take care. I believe in you.
Taking a chance.